Hello, my name is Rachel, and today I'm bringing you the Thank You Next tag. This tag originated from This Story Ain't Over. I'll leave her link down below to the tag video so you can also join if you would like. This obviously is based off of Ariana Grande's hit Thank You Next, so all of the prompts revolve around appreciating what has come before and looking forward to what's coming up next. So the first question is, name a book that you said thank you next to, i.e. DNF'd. So I decided to go with Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. I picked this one because I was looking so forward to it. It was actually recommended to me because of my love for Stolen by Lucy Christopher. So I jumped right into this one, so excited because I absolutely love Stolen. But, oh my gosh, I had to DNF it because it literally put me into like a depressive state. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, the more I read this book, the worse I felt, and it was seriously affecting my mood and like my whole day. So I had to just stop because it was basically ruining my life. If you're not familiar, this is about a forbidden romance between a brother and sister. They have a horrible home life, and they basically are in charge of raising the family. So because they've kind of had to assume these parental roles, I think it sets them up for situations that wouldn't naturally be there. And not only is it creepy, but the context of all of it is just so sad. I mean, they have these horrible lives and they're just so miserable. And I mean, it literally, like I said, put me into like a depressive state. So I had to DNF this one and walk away, and I'm glad I did because I was spoiled for the ending, and I could not have taken it. So I am super happy that I put this one down. Thank you, next. Next up is the quintessential love, patience, and pain. So for love, I went with Pride and Prejudice because not only is it my favorite love story, but it is just my favorite book. Overall, I absolutely love that story. It is fantastic. I love it. It's taught me love for sure. Next up, the one that taught me patience is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. I, again, wanted to jump into this because I love like historical vampire stuff, like based on like Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and this very much relates to that. It's about a historian that's doing research and gets kind of tied up in all of this, and I was so excited to read it, but I'm not sure if I was just reading it when I was too busy or if I was just too young, maybe, because I read it when I was younger, and because it was such a chunker of a book. I mean, there's like 800 pages in this book. Maybe it was just too big for me, like intimidating wise. I'm not sure. But it took me so many tries to get through this book. Now, when I did finally get through it, I enjoyed it, and I'm actually looking forward to maybe reading it again one day. So it's not a bad book, but I just definitely had to learn patience with this book. It took several tries to get through, and it took so long to read, but I very much enjoyed it in the end, and the patience really worked out. Next up is a book that taught me pain, and there's been a lot. I mean, I can name all the books that made me cry because I cry often in books. I try to avoid those, but sometimes you just can't. But I would say probably the first book that I remember being just like heartbroken by was The Giver by Lois Lowry, because that ending, man, I'm not going to explain what happens just in case by some miracle you have not managed to read The Giver yet, but it's a very ambiguous ending, and I feel like one side is just gut-wrenching, and the other side just doesn't seem realistic, like the happy side. So, oh my gosh, I had never experienced a book like that just left me hanging, first of all, and with the possibility looming that things could have ended so badly. I mean, I was just devastated. Even giving me goosebumps just thinking about it now. When I was younger and I read that, I thought, what in the world? Like, this is unacceptable. So I'm going with The Giver for Taught Me Pain because it hurt me back in the day. Next up is a book you loved at the time of reading, but in hindsight, you don't like it as much anymore, but you still learned something from it. So I'm going to go with like basically all of the Fear Street books by R.L. Stine because I loved those, and I felt like I was finally like progressing in my reading when I was reading those. Like, we're talking like 7th and 8th grade, and I would get those books and I felt like an adult because they weren't the children's books anymore. They weren't the middle grade books anymore. I felt like I was an adult reader finally. So I think that really kind of turned the page, no pun intended, for me moving towards becoming a reader as an adult. So for that, I'm grateful, but they're horrible. Like, I go back and reread them now, like, for fun, and I love them for, like, the nostalgia of it, but, like, they're horrible. Like, they're not good books. They're really, really cheesy. There's not a lot of substance to them. All of the characters are so shallow. Like, it's just not good. Compared to the YA that's available now, like, they're not good, just flat out. But I still read them, and I still love them, but, I mean, they're not good. They're not good. That's all you can say. But thank you. Thank you, Next, for teaching me to be a reader and keeping me reading when I was little, but we're going to move on to better books now. Next is to name a book you're currently talking to, i.e. have the hots for. And for that, I'm going to pick one that I am so excited to start reading, and that is the new Sanjia Menon book. It's called There's Something About Sweetie, and I just got approved for an e-arc, and I'm so excited. As soon as I finish the book that I'm reading now, I'm going to jump into that one, and I'm so excited. I love her books so far. She's had I think one a year for the past 2 years, and I've just devoured them. I've loved them. I think they're fantastic, and I just cannot wait to get into another Sanjia Menon book, so I'm super excited for it. And lastly is naming the book that's gonna last. The Book of You, the book that helped you love yourself a little bit more. For this, I originally thought maybe Pride and Prejudice because it's my go-to book for my favorite book. I collect this book. A lot of people will tell me, oh, we saw this, like, Pride and Prejudice thing out somewhere. So, like, it's even, like, associated with me with all of my associates and friends and co-workers and everything. But I decided, since I already used it, to give you another book for this one. And I'm gonna go with Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. And the reason I'm gonna go with this is because I read this when I was younger, when I wasn't really a part of any reading community. So it was very solitary, the reading experience then. And not like in a sad way, but just like I would read a book, I would have my own opinions about it, and then I would put it back on the shelf, and that would be the end of it. I wasn't rating it on Goodreads, I wasn't reading reviews, I wasn't hearing other people talk about it, so I had my own thoughts, and I really enjoyed that book. I mean, I know it's problematic. It's kind of like with the R.L. Stine books. Like, at the time, it's really, really good, and you're enjoying it. But as I've read more, I have read other books that are probably better, but the fact is I still really like that series, and now that I am part of a book community, I've seen so many people not enjoying that book, and I think that was probably the first book where I've had such differing opinions from other people that I've noticed. Most people don't like that book series, and I still like it, and that book taught me that, you know what, it's okay. It's alright if I like it, and it's cheesy, that's alright. It doesn't even have to be a guilty pleasure. It's allowed just to be a pleasure. Since I enjoy it, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what other people say about it. They're entitled to not like it, just like I'm entitled to like it. So I think that is going to be my learn a little bit more about myself book, because it taught me that I'm allowed to like whatever I want to like when it comes to books, and that's okay. It may not be for everybody, but it can be for me. So there you have it, my Thank You Next book tag. Again, I will link the original tag down below, and consider yourself officially tagged if you would like to participate. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you again in another video soon. Bye for now.